my name is Jazmine, and I am against the current California law that authorizes the early release of state prisoners. My proposition is California should repeal the current law that releases prisoners early to save money. To support my main proposition, I have three supporting claims. My first supporting claim is that California prisons are overcrowded, but releasing prisoners early to save money and space is not the answer to the problem. My second supporting claim is that the early release of prisoners compromises the safety of the public. And my last supporting claim, I will explain how convicted felons will struggle in this economy and not be able to find jobs, giving them no choice but to resort to crime, resulting in the return to prison. To begin, California prisons are overcrowded, but releasing prisoners early to save money and space is not the answer to the problem. To support my claim, I have come up with several alternatives. California can save money by cutting the parole for current parolees only, and also Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is also against this law, proposed eliminating parole for all offenders not convicted of violent or sex-related crimes and reducing the parole population by about 70,000, as well as wanting to divert more petty criminals to county jails. Doing this alone would have a significant impact because it would not allow the early release of inmates and it would save the state money. Another idea is that California can also deter from releasing inmates early by transferring them to other prisons within the nation until they build enough cells to accommodate the growing numbers of prisons. Basically, there's always an alternative to the growing number of problems in the current prison system, but the last solution to this problem should not be to release inmates back into society just to save money. Letting prisoners out early is just political and is a result of government's failure to build sufficient jails. Moving on to my second supporting claim, the early release of prisoners will compromise the safety of the public. Republican lawmaker Senator Tom Harmon of Huntington Beach stated that this is the wrong way to solve the budget problem, by putting public safety at risk and by releasing these prisoners. A release from the Sacramento County Jail exposed an apparent loophole in its provision when 22-year-old Kevin Peterson, an inmate who was let out early under the new law, was arrested just hours later on suspicion of attempting to rape his counselor. Although he had been in jail for a probation violation, the inmate's underlying crime was a violent one, assault with a deadly weapon. Had the law not been in effect, he would have had to wait an additional 16 days before he was eligible for release. Assemblyman Alberto Tirico stated, "We are no longer speculating an inmate was improperly released and almost raped a woman. It is obvious we are creating a very dangerous situation." Tirico, who is running for Attorney General and helped write the law, said he will introduce a bill seeking to remove counties from the law's early release provision. Public trust in the criminal system is already low, and if the state continues to release inmates early, it will further undermine entitling criminals to receive a softer treatment. Moving on to my last supporting claim, if released, convicted felons will struggle in this economy and will not be able to find available jobs, giving them no choice but to resort to crime. A growing number of states are pushing inmates out of prison in early release programs designed to reduce overcrowding to save money, but faced with a tight job market and few employers are not willing to hire them with a criminal record. Of those related convicted felons, about 2/3 reoffend within 3 years. And despite being offered a taste of freedom, some inmates released in these programs are returning to prison. For example, Randall Countryman, age 40, of Chula Vista, California, was released from prison in May after serving 21 years for attempted murder and armed robbery. He was working on getting a bachelor's degree in business and maintaining a 4.0 GPA, but after applying for 90 positions, he was able to only land a 5-week temporary job with a printing company. He said people only want to hire the best thing they can get right now. With this in mind, it will make life much harder for them if they are granted early release without proper education. So the bottom line is, with all this in mind, if California continues to release inmates early, they will be taking the easy route out, and instead of dealing with the problem and coming up with different alternatives, they will be jeopardizing the safety of the public of the inmates. The inmates will be forced to compete in the job market, and overall, this is not the best way to save money, and it's going to make the lives of you and I much harder. This is why California should renounce the current law authorizing the early release of prisoners.